So my friend Molly,
Hi.
that's Molly. Well, Molly had this sty that developed in April 2020,
Actually, it was a chalazion.
a chalazion.
Yeah, it's a blocked oil gland near your eye. A sty is a bacterial infection from the blocked oil gland.
Got it. Okay, so she had this chalazion, but I cannot stress enough how extreme this chalazion was.
It felt like cystic acne, but on my eye. Just like existing hurt. I was like sitting on the couch with you, and if you were, like to my right or my left, and I had to like turn my eyes to look at you, it would hurt.
She started off with hot compresses and warm tea bags on her eye, but that wasn't enough for this sucker.
It got to the point where I couldn't drive anymore because I couldn't see. My eyelashes were starting to grow in different directions than they normally do. And some of them were growing downward into my eyeball, and it looked crazy. And then I had lost probably like 80% of my eyelashes on my eye. They just fell out.
My girl tried so many methods to treat this thing, all in the middle of peak 2020 pandemic. To summarize, there were 3 different doctors, 7 procedures requiring stitches, 6 shots of steroids, and 4 rounds of antibiotics.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. She did eventually find a solution, and we'll get to that. But trust me, that's not the real story anyway. This story must begin with the sources of this chalazion. Her 3rd doctor solved the mystery, and Molly actually saw the culprits for the first time in her office. They were just small enough to be invisible to the naked eye, so she looked through a microscope. Thriving in the pores of her lashes were thousands of teeny, tiny spiders.
They looked like they were partying. They looked like they were having the greatest night of their life.
Under the lens were these long, worm-like creatures about half the depth of a credit card. 4 legs on each side were squished up in the front of each of their bodies, then this fat tail trailed behind, making up most of their length. They're called Demodex follicularum, otherwise known as face mites. And before you get all judgy, just know that you have them too. I'm Natalie Wheeler, a freelance journalist and lover of bodily weirdness, and this is Dirty Stinky Beautiful, a podcast that aims to make you fall in love with the gross science of being human. First episode, wash your face.